Hey, mamas, welcome to another episode of Between Us Moms. A happy belated Mother's Day to you guys. I hope that you felt showered with love and appreciation. You're badasses. You're doing it every single day. And we're so grateful you're part of this community. We're growing and it's so exciting. So thanks for being here for 30 minutes. We love it. Katie, hit us with your Cliff Notes.
Okay, so in the spirit of Mother's Day, I first of all want to acknowledge all those who celebrated and also all those who hope to celebrate one day because we
Yes.
know what that wait is like. But I'm going to share my first Mother's Day.
Yay!
It's like, I don't know why, but it felt so monumental because, when you were waiting for so long to celebrate that first Mother's Day and then it's finally here. I don't know, I got a little bit emotional every time someone would say Happy Mother's Day and, would come up to our family and just acknowledge us. Like I just felt like it was very kind. I want to cry a little bit right now. That's so
Oh.
weird.
Oh.
Okay. So Jason really did the most. He, first of all, I woke up and he brought me, so I'm still nauseous. Can you believe it?
No, that's
We're officially in
crazy.
month 7 and I'm still puking. But anyways, he brought me my toast in bed and brought me little Kaya being in bed and we just like cuddled and played all morning. And then he gave me a gift which I wasn't expecting because I already knew we were going to this really fancy brunch. I think I even mentioned it on the podcast a few episodes back. But he got me a maternity massage in a couple of weeks at the Four
Oh,
Seasons.
what a
Oh,
king. Oh, I'm
what
so jealous.
I'm like, dang. He's like, it's not today because I want you to be with us today and you wanted
Yeah.
to be with us. He's like, so it's in a couple of weekends and you'll just go and have that maternity massage. And I'm like, oh
Wow.
my God, it's so nice. So that he got me, it's so funny. Instagram ads always get Jason. They always know what season of life he's in. Anyways, this came up. It's like a mama sweatshirt,
Cute.
like embroidered with Kaya's name on it. It says Kaya Lynn.
How
And
sweet is that?
he's like, when I tell you I ordered this off Instagram ads in April and it didn't show up until yesterday because it came all the way from China. And he's like, I didn't realize that when I ordered it from Instagram.
Yeah.
Anyways, I thought it was really thoughtful and sweet. And then he got me some framed pictures of me and Kaya because I always get
Oh,
him framed pictures of him and Kaya for, work or his desk or whatever. And so he got me some, and I thought that was really cute.
that's precious. I
Because
love that,
that's like,
Jason. Good job.
yeah, it's a lot of effort for a man to
Yeah.
go and print out photos.
Yeah. I don't think
That,
Andrew
I
would know
mean,
what to do.
it's a hard, even for me, it's not something that I enjoy doing. Like you have to go to CVS or Walgreens or whatever it is.
Hmm.
And yeah, figure out how to print those from those little machines. And he somehow printed out these photos and found frames. We gave
Bravo.
him Bravo snaps. Then we went to, so there's this little restaurant out in Topanga that is so cute. I mean, it's like garden vibes, outdoor twinkle lights. It's just giving magic.
Mm.
And we went there for my birthday a couple of years ago for my birthday dinner. And he made Mother's Day brunch reservations there. And it's just whimsical and magical. And Kaya enjoyed the brunch more than anybody there.
She's a lady who brunches.
She's a lady who brunches. She wanted to acknowledge every person who walked by her.
Hmm.
And when I tell you the amount of food she ate, at one point I had to call my own mother on Mother's Day. I mean, I'd already called her to say Happy Mother's Day, but I had to
Right.
call to make sure it was normal that
Mm.
my child was eating so much.
Yeah.
I just was, I mean, you've seen her eat, like that girl can crush food, but
Yeah.
this was, I mean, she had eggs, she had English muffin, avocado. She must have had 15 strawberries. She had pasta. It was just, and then she kept banging on the table because she wanted more. Like when the food would run out, it was like, I want more. And Jason and I just, we were laughing. We were like, well, good thing it's an all you can eat
Yeah.
brunch. She loved that. And then we had seen Jason's family the day before for his niece's first birthday. And it was nice because it was also Mother's Day weekend. And then we went to go see my family and had some dinner with them. And when Kaya went down for her nap midday, Jason and I took full advantage and went swimming.
Nice.
Nice and relaxing.
Can I ask you a personal question?
Yeah, please do.
So your pool is new. Have you guys christened your pool yet?
So we haven't christened it in the way that, well, I guess there's only one way to christen things. No, we've not christened the pool yet. No, we've only swam in it.
Okay.
That's it. There's
Have
been
you
no,
skinny dipped?
haven't skinny dipped. I think because I'm like pregnant and
Oh,
I
see, I
don't
think
know.
that sounds so nice. Just
I
to
think
float, get
it
this
is,
belly floating,
it is so nice. There's nothing nicer than a bed of water to float in when you have a watermelon on your
right?
stomach,
Yeah,
you
because
know?
you love a belly band. So to me, this is like an even better version of that because you're nice and cool and it's like holding your
Oh,
belly and
it's the dreamiest. You just don't
yeah,
feel the weight of the belly when you're in the
so
water.
nice.
But we will christen it. We will have some sexy time in there. God
That's your
bless
homework.
chlorine. Yeah, we'd
Yeah,
love
right. Listen, it's your personal pool. You do whatever
I
you want in
know,
there.
I
You
know.
can
Ain't that
pee
the
in there,
truth?
you can sex in
Oh,
there, you do whatever you want.
that's so true. Yeah, we haven't done that yet. But yeah, it is a brand new pool. Only 6 people have been in the pool so far. But my last kicker is, so after Mother's Day dinner, we were walking out of my parents' house and I was like, "Ugh, I don't feel good." Puked all over their lawn.
Oh no.
Came home and puked some more.
We should rename this podcast
The
Puke
puke
Files.
diaries.
Yeah,
Oh,
Puke
puke
Diaries,
files.
Puke Files.
Yeah.
Yeah, I too puked this weekend.
Ah,
Yeah, mine was one of those acid reflux in the middle of the night, shot up, had this delicious Chicago pizza, shot up in the middle of the night, couldn't breathe, had the like acid in my throat, ran to the bathroom, was trying to catch my breath, coughing, coughed so hard I gagged, puked up the pizza in the sink. It's just like, I cannot. I am so close to giving birth and I'm over it. I know you are too. And I'm sure you guys are sick of hearing about it. So, eventually, we won't be talking about puke, but that is just the season we are in, right?
you are at the finish line. You are
Yeah.
there. It could be days at this point. It could be a
Yes.
couple of weeks, but you are there.
You know
So,
what? That's my cliff notes is I had my 36-week appointment, went
how's the
great.
baby?
Baby
Where is
girl
the
is head down. She's kicking me in the ribs. She's moving like crazy because we did IVF. You know, the last couple weeks they want to do a non-stress test just to see how their heartbeat's doing, all the things. So it was a longer appointment, got to see her. We got a 3D image of her, which we hadn't gotten. I haven't seen her since her anatomy scan at 20 weeks. So it was so great to see her little face and her little button nose. And it was wonderful. And I thought I was actually going into labor yesterday. I was feeling kind of crampy. And I don't know if it was Braxton Hicks or what. It went away. So I think it was probably just like practice
Yeah,
contractions. But I told Andrew all I really want. We've just still like we're cycling through the sicknesses in our house. You can probably hear it. Like Andrew, who never gets sick, is knocked out. He's so we're just like really going through it,
yeah.
sickness after sickness. So anyway, we're working really hard to get better because we really feel like this baby could come at any minute. But I told Andrew yesterday, all I want is to sleep in. That's all I want. So he made sure it was quiet. He took Dylan to the park. You know, I slept in till 9, which is like I can't even remember the last
Wow.
time. I know. And then my in-laws came over. They brought brunch, which was so nice because we still don't have a kitchen. So cannot cook anything, can't wash dishes, none of the things. So that was a treat to have like real food, not takeout. And then in the evening, we went out to an Italian dinner with my family, which was really nice. So it was just a great day. I love Mother's Day.
Yeah.
Last year was my first one, and I remember Andrew had who very simply you reminded me of this actually when you were talking about Jason printing pictures, finding frames, like similar thing. Andrew, good at so many things, hates social media. He had
Mm.
privately and secretly started an Instagram account for Dylan, and every Thursday he had posted a picture of her with a caption and like kind of documenting her life for a whole year. And then on Mother's Day, he friended me from her account. So I was like, oh, so yeah, it was just like these men are just so creative. This year he got me my favorite winery did a non-alcoholic press this year, so he got me a case of the NA stuff so that I could have that for, these days leading up to birth, and then he got me a case of the good stuff for when this baby's here. So it's all good, but I do feel like this baby could come early. So I don't know. Our bags are packed, our cars. Before I was telling you I was stressed because I hadn't done anything.
Right.
I
The
feel
car seat's a big one.
car seats in, our nurse gifts are made, our bags are packed for the hospital, the nursery is essentially done. There's just like minor things around the house that you want. It's like I've seen these hilarious things on TikTok where it's like new moms taking their kid around the house, showing them like the baseboards and showing them like, the fridge. And they're like, me showing my baby all the things I cleaned for their
Mm,
arrival. They'll
mm.
be, this baby's gonna be fine if we don't get
Yeah.
all these things done, but we would like a sink. So, of
I
course,
was just gonna say, what is the bottle washing plan
so
about the
I
sink?
I intend to fully nurse.
Okay, so no pumping.
No, not initially until we have
Okay.
a sink. So what we learned is, how's this for timing? We finally got our countertop estimate. It's coming in when we're in the hospital to induce. If she comes when we induce on the 29th, we will come home to a fully finished house. The timing of this is just so poetic and wild. I mean, we started this January 3rd.
Ugh. Honestly,
So,
yeah, that's a long time. I was gonna
yeah,
say that's pretty quick, and then I realized we're halfway through May, and no, that's a long
right.
time.
It's a
Yeah.
long time. And you know what? I'm really hesitant to ever complain about it because
What
what
a
a
fun
blessing.
thing. Yeah, you're
Yeah.
designing your dream home and choosing what
It's
you want. Yeah.
Yeah, it's just being patient when you're pregnant and wanting to nest is hard. My husband is a very like efficient, project oriented, get shit done kind of guy, so he doesn't get why stuff takes so long. And I'm not like cracking the whip. So, anyway, wild season, we are almost there, but
So close.
so close.
So close.
Ready to schedule that vasectomy.
Oh yeah. Have you
Yeah.
scheduled that yet? Because I'm gonna call today and schedule Jason's.
I'm waiting. We're gonna wait just a minute, give it a
Okay.
small little beat, because it's not like
Yeah.
we can have sex for 6 weeks. Let
Why
me
not?
heal, then he can do his thing, and I'll give you that tea later. In the meantime, should we dive into our tea for this week?
We got to dive into the tea. There's a lot to talk about.
There is. Let's do it.
We usually keep this section to mama related topics, or we've been doing that. But as most of you guys know, we love Taylor Swift, and therefore we love Travis Kelce.
She's a
So
mother to
she's a
us.
mother. She's our mother.
She's our
We bow down.
mother.
Yeah,
Yes.
truly our mother. Happy Mother's Day, Taylor.
Yeah.
Okay. First of all, as she kicked off her Paris dates last week, I think it was May 9th, she introduced a whole new Tortured Poets Department set that is epic to the 10th degree, as if we expected anything less. New sets, new songs added, new costumes. And I want to say I am so proud of every single Swiftie in attendance for already knowing every lyric to every song off that album in less than a month,
Right.
right? Like,
But like, who's surprised?
who is surprised?
No
I
one.
know almost every word too. Anyways, Travis showed up to the final tour stop in Paris, and Taylor really pulled out all the stops. First of all, it was her 87th show, so she had to acknowledge that. He's number
Because,
he's number
yes.
87 on the Chiefs. For her 1989 set, which she changed up the costumes for in Paris, like 1989 is all new costumes now. She wore red and gold, Chiefs colors. Who is she? She's a
Ooh.
girl in love. She wore T earrings, which you could argue are for Taylor, but also for Travis. So I'm going to say it's for both of them. The second surprise song in the acoustic set, this is what gets me. Begin Again, mashed up with Paris. So romantic. I just can't even get over it. I thought maybe there would be like a dedication to mothers out there because it was Mother's Day, but no, she really said, Travis, this is for you. Travis was videotaped dancing along the whole entire time. Gigi Hadid and Bradley Cooper were also there. I just want to give Bradley Cooper a shout out. He has been to numerous eras at this point,
I
shows at
love
this
that.
point.
I am liking him so much these days.
He's just, I feel like he's taken a load off or something.
Yeah.
Gigi's
Gigi's a good
a good
influence.
thing. Yeah.
Yeah, I like
His
them.
his dance moves, Who knew? Unexpected.
Who knew? I would
Yeah.
not have guessed.
And I just want to say, I love the season of life that Taylor is in. This feels like someone in the honeymoon phase, soaking up every moment. You're being so loud with your love, but in such a Taylor Easter eggy way that we would only understand. And I'm here for it.
Do you think a proposal is coming?
I don't know. I think maybe within a year.
Okay.
I was Taylor's age now when I met Jason, and he proposed a year to the day that we went on our first date. So I do think there is something to be said about when you know, you know. He though, Jason, what he's 5 years older than me. Travis is, you know, I hope he's there. I hope he's as ready as I feel like Taylor is.
They're coming up on a year.
They're coming up on a year this summer.
And I also feel like in Hollywood, things just move faster because look at their romance. You travel to exotic places. You have these over the top romantic moments. Like it's not like dating in the real world where things are a slow burn. Like I mean, look at all these celebrity couples who just like meet and then are married so fast because I think a lot of it just has to do with the romance that surrounds their life.
Right.
So I feel like it's going to happen soon. If
You think in less than, I would say, listen, I hate guesstimating this because we waited on Joe Alwyn to pop the question for so long. And it was like, and you could tell, I mean, she literally sings like, I'm mad I gave you so much of my life
Yeah.
in the new album. And so I want to believe, I feel like Taylor is a fall girl. Like she loves fall.
Mhm.
She's an autumn queen. I feel like fall could be a good time.
Yep.
But yeah, I also hate speculating because they're going to do things as they're going to do things. I do think he is finally the guy that if he is going to step up to the plate, will step up to the plate. Like I don't think
Yes.
he's a F boy.
Prior to him dating Taylor, I think if I were to make a snap judgment, I would have totally guessed he was a fuck boy, you
Isn't that
know?
funny?
Yeah,
Yeah.
so I think don't judge a book by its cover.
Did you see Jana Kramer's comments recently?
No, what did she say?
So she actually really hated on him and said he's like cheesy and he's always
Mm.
drunk. And I felt like that was unfair of her to put on him because A, do you even know him?
Right.
And B, I do, or she said also that it seems like Taylor's drinking a lot more with him. But
Mm.
don't you think in like the honeymoon phase, you just kind of, if you do drink, you drink a little bit more
You eat,
because you're
drink, and be
out.
merry. Yeah.
Yeah, you're like out having fun. You're enjoying life together.
I
There's
don't
often,
like that because
right?
also
I
here's
hated
the
that.
other thing. We're seeing Taylor out in public more. They've just said like we're going to live our life, we're going to support each other and like we're not going to let the outside noise deter us from
Influence.
doing that,
Yeah,
which is so different than what she had with Joe. So like we're just seeing more of her. Like so who are you to say that she's doing it more?
I know.
You
I
don't know
hated it.
that. Yeah.
Also, we see her, during the football season, and we saw her once a week at the games.
Mhm.
If you drink, you're going to drink at an NFL game.
Yeah. I don't
It
like
made me a little bit upset. I
yeah.
think, when I look at these performances and these clips of Taylor, I'm like, let her God always be this happy. She seems
Right.
like she's radiating just happiness, sunshine, love, butterflies, rainbows.
Yeah.
And let's let her be in that little bubble of joy.
Have your beer,
Anyway,
enjoy.
exactly. What do you have?
All right, so let's talk about Jennifer Garner. She's kind of in the hot seat for a recent appearance she made on the Kelly Corrigan Wonders About Your Mother podcast because she opened up about her experience being pregnant. If you don't know, she shares three kids with her ex Ben Affleck, an 18-year-old daughter, a 15-year-old daughter, and a 12-year-old son. So she hasn't been pregnant in a minute, but she said, when asked about pregnancy, she said, "Oh, yeah, I was so lucky. I had great pregnancies. I've been pregnant 3 times in my life. I have 3 kids. I'm so lucky. I think combined, I tried, all of them were on purpose, I should say. And combined, I probably tried for 4 or 5 months." She said, "Oh my gosh, I'm 52 next week, and I bet I could have one in a field right now." And then when Kelly said, "You shouldn't be saying that out loud," she said, "I'm not worried about it. I don't really. I'm just saying, yeah, breeding. I was born to breed for sure. Big hips." but people are upset with her because she's talking about how easy it was for her to conceive. How do you feel about this, Katie? As someone, we both had losses. Does this
Right.
upset you that she's saying this?
No, because I think everyone's body and everyone's journey is different. And if her journey was so blessed, why would we hate on that?
Right.
I think so many people, as you guys have heard in previous episodes, love to read the comments.
Yep.
And I saw all the hate she was getting, and I was like, it made me upset as a woman that so many women would hate on another woman's experience because some
Right.
people's bodies do things differently. And we have to, in life isn't always fair. And that's a good lesson that we should all have learned by now.
Right.
And, you kind of have to take the cards that you're dealt and deal with them. And you have to believe that what's happening is what was meant to happen for your life. I think that was what was meant to happen for her life is she was supposed to have 3 kids pretty easily with Ben Affleck. And I don't wanna, pretend that I know what happened in their marriage, but I'm sure when she married Ben, she thought it would last forever, right? And it didn't last forever. So it's not like this woman hasn't been through hard times.
Right.
Her marriage ended up falling apart. And so I think we all deal with the cards that we're dealt with, and that's the way the cookie crumbles. And as someone who and I know you too, we both had pregnancy losses, it wasn't super easy. This last pregnancy was super easy, that's just the way that this went for me. But the first ones were hard and we had losses and we've been pregnant more times than kids that we have. And that was our story. But I think hating on other people for their experiences only fills you up with more hate.
Right. I agree. It feels really icky. And I couldn't agree
Yeah.
more with you. I think you're totally right. Everyone is going to have hardship and things that come easier. And I think we shouldn't silence her because that was her experience. Like, I feel like she was asked about it and she should be allowed to share. I remember being in the hospital after my labor and delivery, which was truly sunshine, unicorns, beautiful experience. And my doctor saying, don't tell anyone about your labor and delivery because they'll just be mad at you. And I was like, I'm going to tell everyone about my labor and delivery because I also
Yes.
think like it was the best day of my life.
Right.
And I think that was my win. Getting to that day came with a lot of loss, a lot of heartbreak, a lot of upset, but like we should be allowed to share our experiences, good and bad. And I
And
don't think she was
as
gloating.
No, not at all. That was just her experience and good for her. And it's so funny you mentioned your birth because mine was not that at all. Like it was very
Right.
traumatic and upsetting in a lot of ways, but I still would am so happy for you and I hope to God your next one is like that. And everyone that I know that's going to give birth, I'm like, God, I hope and pray that it is a smooth, however you want it to go, delivery.
Right.
Can you imagine being so bitter that you're like, "Ugh, I hope she has to have a C-section because I had to have a C-section, or I hope,
Right.
she has to be in labor for this long because what a sad way to live life."
And dare I say, if you are so triggered by someone saying that they had a breezy, easy experience getting pregnant, you probably have some work to do. And I would suggest talking to a professional because if it triggers you that much, there's something that hasn't healed in
Hmm.
you. And I think that it's more a reflection of what's going on in your heart and in your mind and body than it is
Yeah.
Jennifer Garner.
Totally agree. I do want to acknowledge, though, for those who have had difficulties or those who are still going through it, we
Yeah.
also acknowledge that you can feel all of the things. And I think
Right.
as people, we need to show more grace and more love and more understanding and more happiness for others while also feeling what we need to feel for ourselves.
Yeah.
I just think we need more love. All right. It is time for OMG. A woman had Reddit talking because she refused to go on a girls' trip, saying that she did not want to talk about marriage and babies for 3 days. The woman who posted this posted anonymously, but said she was 27 years old. She said, I'm content with my life at the moment. I'm single dating, and I don't know if I would like children, but in the event I did, I know I wouldn't want one soon. 5 of the women in the friend group are either married or in long-term relationships, and then 2 have a baby or are pregnant. And she said, I'm not going because it's a massive financial expense for 3 days where we only talk about people's upcoming engagements, weddings, or babies. I have a lot going on, but I feel a lot of my friends do not show an interest unless I talk about someone I'm dating. She said at one of their last trips, one of the women spoke about her breastfeeding plans for over an hour before she was even pregnant. And she said it's boring and it feels dismissive and said it's a really expensive way to feel bad about myself. What are your thoughts?
I have so many thoughts about this. As somebody who did all the things later than all my friends, it is really hard to be in a different season of life than your friends, people you love and have history with, and you just genuinely care so deeply for because you want to be fully invested in their season, but you want to feel like they're invested in yours too. And I think it's
Mm,
so just human nature to talk about what you're experiencing. So I remember so vividly coming home from dinners with my girlfriends just feeling really sad because I realized I hadn't said a word because I hadn't been asked about anything in my season of life. I think that there needs to be more awareness when you're in a social situation with your friends about really just engaging and meeting them where they are because it's really hard to be the one who's a little bit behind. And I
right.
felt that for a very long time. And even now, like my friends, their kids are all in school. I'm still making babies. So they've moved on, they've thrown away their pumps, they've thrown away their bottles, and I'm still thinking like, all right, what's my sleep plan and what's the
Hmm.
nursing plan? And it's hard. It is just hard. And I know I sympathize with this woman so, so much. What about you?
I honestly do get what you're saying. And I think in general, as adults who engage in adult conversations and have friendships,
Mhm.
we all need to be more mindful to ask our friends what they're going through.
Right.
Whether or not it's marriage or babies or whatnot, I think
Yeah.
in general, we should all, when you get together for dinner, you have friends over for game night, or you go shopping with a friend. I just think it's important to check in no matter where you're at. And I do think it would be really hard to pay, probably thousands of dollars to go on a trip and feel like nobody asked a single thing about what you're going through.
Yeah.
And they just wanted to talk about themselves and the season of life that they're in. I also do think as we get older, and I've really felt this deeply, is that as we enter new seasons of life, the people that you hang out with more are similarly in those seasons of life.
Definitely.
It makes me really sad that like a lot of my friends who don't have children yet or who aren't married yet, like I don't feel like I see them as often. And I don't feel like they check in on me.
Mhm.
And maybe that's also like me not checking in on them as much. But I feel like I talk to people who more so are like in the same season, and that's hard. Sometimes friendships are for seasons,
Yep.
as sad as that is.
And I think the sooner you accept that, the easier adulthood is.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it doesn't mean
Yeah.
there's a lack of love. It doesn't mean you can't come circle back to each other.
No, absolutely. And
Yeah,
maybe, when their time comes, it's like they'll want to come and ask for
for sure.
advice or whatnot and talk about things and acknowledge, oh my gosh, I had no idea, when you said you were sleep training and couldn't come for dinner, I had no idea until
Right.
now.
It is interesting too. I have so often felt like I wish I knew what I know now when my friends were having babies because I
Yeah.
would have been a much more present friend. But I didn't kn like you said, I just didn't know, and, like, I have one friend who had her baby during the pandemic. Actually, I have multiple friends, but there was one who lived so close to me, and if I could go back and do it again, I would have been bringing her food. I would have been calling her more often, like, I just didn't know, and I have so
Right.
much regret about that. It is what it is, and we
Yeah.
grow. All right, this week's Mama We Love. This story is insane. There is a woman who defended her doctoral dissertation and gave birth all in the same day. She is a Rutgers, New Brunswick Graduate School of Education student. She's also works for the school, and she said she felt, quote, odd the night before she was expected to defend her dissertation presentation. And then early in the morning, her water broke. So this woman's wife was like trying to keep her calm, saying, like, you should lay down. And she was like, no, I'm in active labor. This baby is coming today. She knows because she also has a 4-year-old daughter. So she thought she had a little bit of time before her delivery, but she realized that her son was actually crowning, and she ended up giving birth on the way to the hospital in her wife's car, going 120 miles per hour. Didn't even get a chance to pull over. She pushed 3 times and the baby was in her arms. So then after giving birth 4 weeks early, she felt like she was prepared enough to go ahead and defend her dissertation from the hospital 7 hours later.
Oh my
She told her
gosh.
I know, she told her wife, "Go get me some clothes, my laptop, bring me my charger." She did it. She graduated on Mother's Day, and I just wanna give her the biggest shout out because I cannot imagine. I mean, Katie, can you imagine delivering your dissertation
No,
7 hours after giving birth?
I honestly, and we talked about this earlier, I can't imagine doing anything. I mean, my labor was also just, it wasn't 3 pushes and out.
Yeah.
It was it was challenging and hard and exhausting. I can't imagine doing anything except for lay in that mother effing hospital bed with my newborn child and my
Mhm.
husband next to me and, like, trying to feed my child. Kudos to her. Wow, that's warrior
Yeah.
status.
Right, like, we bow down, we applaud you. We applaud all of you guys. You're all mamas we love, and we're so grateful for you. We hope that you have a beautiful week. We hope you feel celebrated every day, not just on Mother's Day. And like we like to say, motherhood is a sisterhood, and you are definitely our sisters.